Hey everyone, you're on the RCGroups live video chat thingy. I'm Jim T. Graham, your host. Thanks to Matt Gunn for figuring out how to get us on the air. Matt, there's there's two key ingredients we're missing at this very moment. One's Jason Cole, who's in Croatia.
Yeah, he's getting his hair cut, I think, as we speak.
Well, he's on hold. He's waiting for us. Okay. And the other is Tahoe Ed from DJI. The new Mavic Pro was released this week, and we were all over that thing. And I'm going to send a link to Mr. Tahoe Ed right now and get him in, and we're going to talk a little DJI.
I think Tahoe Ed is one of the most recognized screen names in the DJI camp.
Well, we'd never seen Ed until this morning, and we actually saw his face.
Yeah. I thought he'd be like, I don't know, 18 years old. Nah. Usually guys named Ed don't have, it's usually Edward when they're younger, right? I digress.
You know, there aren't that many Eds anymore.
I know, right? It's kind of a dying name.
Okay, I need to find our broadcast page here. Here we go. Okay, so in the background while we're waiting for Tahoe to jump on, and Jason, I guess you sent that to Jason, Matt?
Yeah, let's verify it's going back to him right now. So go ahead and keep on.
All right, so everyone, I'm going to screen save to me. We can talk about something everyone in RC loves, a crash. So not to get into the Nash Pro 16 too much right now, but look what, over here. It doesn't look bad, but basically what happened was I had a field full of guys, and many of them knew that I was an FPV pilot, and they would say, hey, I'm buying this, I'm buying that. What do you think about that? And come to find out, the majority of them had never flown FPV for real. And I'm like, holy cow, here comes Jason. Hey, Jason.
What up?
So I'm like, holy cow, man, if you haven't flown FPV, come to my tent. And so I have my killer base station going out to my goggles, which are the Glyphs. And then I also have my Sky Zone goggles. Good news on those, I had an intermittent power problem, which made me fear them. And it turned out to be my cable because another Sky Zone guy was there. I got his cables out. So basically I gave everyone rides in the Surfer 1500 all week long. So after you do it a time or two down the same field, I was getting pretty good at low inverted passes. And then I would come around and fly into trees and blow people's minds. And then I was doing loops and all that. Well, on Friday, yeah, I'll bring it in. It looks fine, right?
Looks like you blew your Sky Surfer's mind.
So on Friday, look at that poor guy. He's like, Jim, what happened? Everything was fine. And if you'll notice, no one's ever really noticed this. My pilot's wearing head play goggles.
He sure is. I remember that.
So anyway, we're flying. Well, I guess we're high in the air. I had just gone past the Christmas tree, Jason. You know where that is on top of the hill?
I do know, yeah.
One of the things I would do is get as close as I could to the star, close enough for people to start telling me I was going to crash. And right after I went past it, it just started rolling and rolling and rolling. I'm all over the sticks, but I realized pretty quickly that I was not going to regain control. So many people have told me to do it, but I'm the king of I do what the instructions tell me to do, and I did not glue my wings in.
Yeah.
After a roll and inverted pass number 6, the wings departed the plane. They didn't leave the plane. They just kind of fell out like this.
So that's what caused the crash, is the wing slid out of the tube?
The plane was flying like this and became a rotating missile.
How many times did I tell you to glue those wings in?
I know you did, and you were right. So this is my word to Surfer 1500 people. Glue your wings in. Just do it. Just do it. So I blew the nose out. I haven't tested the gear, but I'm pretty sure everything is fine. And I could fix this. I could get this thing hot and glue it back together, and I probably will put it back together.
Yeah, but you can fix that with some hot water.
Yeah. It'll probably never fly exactly the same again, but I mean, it took a pretty good hit. It was not low, and it was full speed in.
Well, you know what? I'd say she lived a good life. I don't know. Did you treat her well?
Yeah, well, she flew under that canopy. Okay, I sent my link to Tahoe Ed. I'm gonna let y'all talk here in a minute when I get concerned he's not coming on. I want to tell another funny story about a crash. So I'm on the flight line, and this is my show. I feel like I'm in charge of the people and making sure that they're having a good time. And I saw somebody running out 100-acre. This is not a small field, 100 acres, all cut grass, just was cut the day before. And I thought, I'm going to get on my golf cart, grab this guy. We're going to drive the 100 acres to his plane and drive back. So it's stinking hot, like delirious hot. And he gets in my cart, and I said, what are we looking for? And he said, a quadcopter. And I was like, where'd it go in at? And he was like, somewhere in this area. So he's like, I think it's better if I get off. Then a third guy, then me, and we're crisscrossing everywhere. And then Wind Junkie, who you may or may not know from RCGroups, brings out his monitor, which is exactly like my monitor. And I said, hey, I'll get my directional antenna. So we put my directional antenna off, and we take his other antenna off. He covers that with his hand. And now he's walking around like he's got a Geiger counter. So I was about to give up. Well, he was getting a signal periodically, and he was letting that lead him to the part of the field that he thought the thing was in. So it was about to be dark, and I was like, okay, I've spent like an hour out here. And the neighbor across the street, Miss Bruce, who's like 82, I saw him pull up, and I thought, well, I better go talk to him. At that point, the Geiger counter Wind Junkie met him at the fence. And Bruce goes, what are y'all doing? And I try to explain FPV quadcopters and using a directional antenna to an 82-year-old man who doesn't fly RC. And his reply was, what? So at that very moment, Wind Junkie goes, I hate to interrupt, but I'm getting a really strong signal. And I turned around, and the quadcopter was about 3 feet behind us.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So
that's a good ending to a old man non-FPV story.
Yeah. So those two FPV things happened. A lot more happened, but now I want to hand it over to you, Jason, and I'm going to go take care of Tahoe Ed.
Tahoe Ed. I know why Tahoe Ed's coming on, and I'm super pumped about what he's going to talk about, because we were all in the van driving back from location, and we're watching the live stream of the DJI Mavic. And we were all pretty blown away by it, and I've got my order in. I cannot wait to get it.
You got one coming?
I placed an order for one immediately.
All right. I've been thinking about doing it, but
yeah,
I'm kind of hesitant to figure out what niche in the hobby this thing is going to fill for me.
Yeah, I want it for, it's not professional grade. I mean, this is every bit as good as the Phantom 4. Which people use for professional work. So it could be done for maybe light duty professional work, but it's still a single operator. It still has camera, issues of being able to do perfect tracking shots. You really need a dual camera operator to do serious pro level camera work, right? So this is great for taking on vacation, going on trips. I would love to have it right now in Croatia. It is amazingly beautiful here, and I don't have anything to film with.
See, you're right. It's a good backpack. Put it in your backpack and capture cinematic stuff.
And all of the events we go to cover, we can get awesome aerials, photographs and videos to put in our coverage. That's just super easy. 27-minute flight times. It's just so small and compact. It just won't get in the way. A lot of times we just don't fly our drones with cameras on them because they're too big and bulky to mess with, and it's a hassle.
You're right.
This thing is convenient and easy to use, which I'm super excited about.
Well, I can't wait for you to get it. So I was trying to decide between the two of them, that or the Karma, and I think I don't want to say I'm a DJI fanboy, but I guess I am a DJI fanboy.
Now, I think the Karma's cool too, and I think they're really different. They're going to appeal to different people. It might be the same market seemingly, but the Karma's going to appeal to guys that are, already using a bunch of GoPros. They're doing extreme sports and things, and they want more of a complete system that is more than a drone. That's kind of GoPro's headline, right? It's more than a drone. You can pull the gimbal off and use it as a handheld gimbal. You can attach it to their all their mounts and be able to use it for lots of other things besides just flying in a drone. So just getting aerial footage is only one part of making really cool videos. You need killer ground footage and all these other B-roll shots and everything to make a cool sporting video. So the aerials are just a part of what that customer wants to do. And so I think the Karma is still going to do pretty well for that group of people. But I think it's a smaller customer base than probably what the Mavic's going to get. I think the Mavic's going to be really, really popular. It's going to outsell the Phantom 4s. And we're going to see them everywhere. And it's just awesome. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Heck yeah. Hey, speaking of awesome B-roll and ground footage and DJI fanboys and whatever else you want to speak of, check this out. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. So this is the Osmo Pro.
Yeah.
It looks like Johnny 5.
Dude, you know what you're missing from that?
What?
I actually got to play with one today. A guy had one on set, that same setup, but he's got the new DJI Z-axis.
Yeah, I saw that. I was thinking about it. It's only like $200 or something like that for the Z-axis for the X5 version.
Yeah, I played with it today, and it was amazing. You could run with it, and it's just butter smooth. Really.
So the only thing that I did, I'm doing a review on this one actually. I got it was the X3. It was the Osmo regular, and obviously I have the X5 that I did a review on not too long ago. So I bought myself. I went out and purchased the adapter here. I purchased this hot shoe mount right here, and I realized really quickly that this gigantic dead cat from the Rode video mic, which by the way is a beautiful, beautiful sound out of this. It gets in the way when I go like this. Yeah. So I got the extension, and it should be here tomorrow. It's $25. It goes down and puts the video mic right here.
Cool.
So check this out. This is really cool. So here's the feed. It actually, it looks I think it looks incredible. But what I can do is press it. Oh, wait a minute. Let me change it over to focus. There we are. So right now, if I press myself, it'll focus on me. There we are. So it's the only problem is it doesn't have run and gun focus. Not on the X5. So anytime I want to focus on something far away, or different, if I'm focusing to infinity and I move into something close, I have to press the button and refocus. It doesn't have automatic. And here's something cool too. If you want to go into selfie mode, you click this 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and it'll turn around and do selfie on you. And if you want to, which sounded really awful, by the way, when I just said that. And then when you press again 3 more times, it turns back around.
Oh, wow.
If you you can go into flashlight mode by pressing it twice. And so now you can use it like a flashlight.
Really low.
And then no matter what angle you are, if you press it twice, it will always face forward from that angle. And then you also have
that thing's awesome.
Yeah, and then you have this joystick on the back right here, and the joystick can be set up like an RC airplane, where it's up is down and down is up, and it actually you can adjust all the parameters, so it's fast and slow and all sorts of stuff like that. I'll just come out and say it. The video quality out of this thing is like absolutely nothing I've ever seen. It is so incredibly rich from this 4/3 sensor and the detachable lens. This is a new toy for us when we do our shooting. Now,
so we take that and the Mavic, and then we can do anything we want to do.
Absolutely. Now,
cool.
The only pitfall, there's a couple of pitfalls. One is that it doesn't autofocus without you pressing the button to focus. The only other problem is they haven't yet released what we're doing now, which is the YouTube live streaming. Now they have YouTube live streaming for the Inspire with this camera, and I can go take the Inspire up with no sound and live stream all I want, but I can't live stream from this sucker yet. And they'll implement it. They just haven't done it yet, right?
Is it through the Go app on the Inspire?
That is correct. It's the only way to do it right now is through the Go app. Now, I went out.
But when you go to the app and do it for the Osmo connection, then it doesn't have that yet.
Yeah, it will eventually, right?
Interesting, because you can live stream from the Mavic, I believe. But
yeah,
no,
so you can live from the Mavic. I think you can live from the Phantom. I don't know for sure, but I know you can from the Inspire.
Right.
So I went out today because the DJI case for that X5 is $150. Okay.
Yeah.
So I went to the gun store today and got this beautiful hard shell case from 1995.
Yes.
And it has foam in it. So it's got plug foam, right?
That's awesome.
So, hey, Jim. Let's see if Jim can hear me. Hey, Jim.
Yo.
I was just saying the case for this thing, the DJI case and the aftermarket cases, like $150. The cheapest one's about $100. I picked this up at the gun store today for $19.95. It's got plug foam in it. So got a case for it. All is well in the world, and I can't wait to use this thing. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Hey man, update. I just invited DJ or Tahoe Ed in, and he's getting a 403 error, and I invited him directly. This is now technical and off topic, but I invited him directly from the feed.
At the top of the page?
Yeah, I did an invite. Let me give you his email address and then let you invite it.
Oh, let me send him this through. I'm going to send Ed right here and see if this works for him. Jim, you're also on that. Don't worry, don't click that. We'll see if Ed gets it and can click it.
Jason Cole, I just stepped away, which I try not to do unless it's super cool. I thought I would have an iPhone 7 Plus to show you.
My iPhone 7 is sitting on my dresser at home, I'm sure, in the box.
Did you get Plus, Jason?
No, I went with the regular size.
I'm gonna get. I should have done is going with this big, beautiful Nexus 6 Plus phablet, which is even better.
I'm gonna get a Plus too, Jason. So you went Plus, so that makes me feel good about going Plus.
No, I didn't go Plus. I went regular.
Well, now I feel terrible about it.
No, no, you shouldn't, dude.
The plus about the Plus is that the Plus fits in the Mavic controller, so you can still have that iPhone 7 Plus in the Mavic as the display.
That's a plus.
We're officially not talking about RC stuff, but well, we are in a way because I've got a Walkera quad out here, which maybe I'll bring in, but it would totally work off this. So I have an iPad and I have an iPhone, and I find that I almost never, if I carry them both, I still won't use one or the other. You know, so.
Matt, are you broadcasting yourself? Because I'm only seeing your face and I haven't clicked you, and Jim's not coming up when he's talking.
That's because let's see. Yeah, I've stopped presenting now.
There you go. Right. Back to normal.
So like on a quadcopter or when I'm at an event or any of these things, when you need something to take a picture, check a website, upload to a website, I'm deciding that I want a bigger one, and the bigger iPhone, the Plus, has a killer camera, man. Have you seen all the specs on that?
Yeah, I can't wait to see the portrait kind of stuff that it does with both cameras. That's going to be so cool.
So one of the reasons I want it is to carry it at shows and use it for shooting photos and videos and things like that. It has a zoom lens. Come on.
Hey, you know what spec I don't like about it? It's price tag.
They're going to take my phone for free, and then I could get a 7 for free, or forget what I think it's $110 extra for the Plus. That sounds like a deal to me.
See, they won't take my Nexus 6 for $50, man. That's a $600 phone 2 years ago.
And you're saying the iPhone's too expensive, and that's about the same price.
Yeah, that thing's $700, man.
Hey everyone, let's talk about the Radian XL.
Boom.
Here's why it's not in my room. It's XL.
Glue the wings on it? Did you glue the wings on that one?
Those are screwed in.
Now, remember, yeah, he glued the wings. He screwed the wings on and snapped the antenna.
Yeah. So I got there's a couple of good things. I really wish I had it here, but if I did, I wouldn't be able to. It's just too big. First of all, they did send me an AS3X receiver, which almost looked exactly like the one I popped out, making me think maybe it came out of a bird. I don't know. But my question was, on the Radian XL, it comes with that AS3X, and I spent an hour looking up programming beforehand, found nothing, and there's a reason. It's pre-programmed. So so like the tail group, everything worked, even to the point where my 3-way switch activated the spoilerons in the wing, or the spoilers in the wing.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so when I got the new one, I thought, I wonder if this will be pre-programmed. Not that it matters, because it's pretty dang simple, but yep, right out of the box, the thing was good to go. So I didn't trim anything. I bolted everything on and put, clipped on just put it together. And then we get, Jason's gone, of course, and Jason and I would normally shoot this at our field, but I was going to Nashbro. So Jason Wind Junkie was there.
Yeah, cool.
And I said, hey, laid back groovy guy. Would you?
All right.
Actually, what he said was, where did you get a Radian XL? And I said, hey, will you like to fly it? And he's like, yeah. And I said, let me go. I brought my camera and all that stuff. So I'll give you an overview. The rest is in the review. I said, do you have a Radian? He said, yes. I said, what do you expect from the XL? He said, I expect it not to have enough power. I expect it not to penetrate because of it being a foamy. Oh, yeah. And so these were his
That's the story of the past Radian's life.
Right. Yeah. So then I say, well, we need to trim it. He holds it up. I turn everything on. He says, it looks fine to me. So I never adjust, not saying that you don't have to adjust it, but me personally, out of the box without even trying, it was perfectly trimmed. And of course, then you got to trim it in the air, right? So I got another guy to throw it. And he was so big. He's like, come on and hit the button, Billy. So I hit the button, and in the video, the prop blows his hat off, which I thought I'd have paid $5 for that to happen. And as he throws it, I start videotaping. And of course, we know that we can't videotape specs. But as soon as he threw it, he started going up and up and up and up. And I said, hey, man, could you not go so high? And he said, he threw it right into a thermal. He said, I'm not even on the gas. He said, we're going up naturally.
Nice. So he caught a thermal on the initial launch of the initial video.
Say what, Jason?
That's the only way I go up, naturally.
Yeah. So I said, well, so which I got to do on the mic quite a bit. So I said, well, bring it down. I hate to bring you out of this thermal. So that was our first test, because it was in a boomer. And he said, well, the first thing I can tell you is that it will get out of a thermal with this motor. So it was powerful enough to bring itself home. And then the next thing we did was hit the spoilers, and there was no pitching. So it didn't nose up. Yeah. And so he was like, I'm really impressed with that. And then we proceeded just to fly it. And so one of the cool things is it's so big. And in the video that's on YouTube right now, it's probably the video at the top. He says, he's doing a voiceover with me, and he says, the thing I really like is how it signals lift. And when he said it, you can see the plane go barble, where it sees the thermal.
Yeah, it lifts a wing, you turn into that, and then you have a good time riding the express elevator to heaven.
Yeah. So nothing but good news. It was 15-minute build, plenty of power, running a 3200 3S. It flew great. And when it does something, like I was so high at one point, I didn't know which way I was going. And
I bet you were, Cheech.
I immediately, hey, Jason. So I didn't, but you know how with a RC airplane, you would be upset that you didn't know which way your plane might be going?
Yeah.
This thing's so big and slow that I told him I could have gone and done a math quiz, come back, and then reevaluated,
Yeah, we call that a cheese sandwich, man. So long you just eat a cheese sandwich. Some old hippie surfer told me that back in the day.
A cheese sandwich. I'll put that in the review. It's just a big, beautiful airplane that's easy to fly, easy to throw, and easy to catch thermals in. It's awesome.
I can't wait to get my hands on yours.
I bet. Hey, everybody, look who it is. It's John from Eagle Tree.
Hey, Johnny boy.
What's happening, guys?
You tell us, man. You're looking sprightly in Croatia.
Oh, yeah? That's what you do here, I guess. What's going on? What's new?
You see it. We're talking DJI a little bit. We're talking Radian XL. Having a good time.
You know, Jason came up with a prototype plane today that he flew. Did he tell you about that?
Negative. Do tell.
Big, huge foamy made out of insulation from the hardware store here. It was quite the sight.
So, Jason, let me get this straight. You didn't bring anything, so you went to the hardware store. You built your own plane so you could fly.
Well, to be fair, so we saw this foam, and I was like, we could probably build a wing out of it, but it didn't really suit any of the challenges in the show that we've had so far. It's really designed for multi-rotors. I was like, we're kind of busy. I don't really have time to build a wing. Anyway, one of the guys that designs drones got tired of building multi-rotor stuff on the show, and he kept having to, build new stuff all the time. So he's like, I'm going to build a wing. So he goes and builds a wing and just carves up foam, makes this giant, like 6.5, 7 foot flying wing out of it. And so that inspired me. So I started my wing. I've got about a 48 incher that I'm working on, scratch building just out of this flat foam from the hardware store. But anyway, so he gets his build, and he's never really, I guess he's flown a wing before, maybe once. But we don't have push rods and hardware and stuff for airplanes, right? So he made control horns out of balsa or maybe birch, a yardstick, stock.
Mm-hmm.
Just hot glued it in, melted the foam with the hot glue because it was so hot, and it just total ghetto build. His push rods were a giant piece of some kind of steel wire that we found, and he had he took a servo horn and laid the giant steel rod against the servo horn, and then put electrical wire through it and hot glued it in place. And that was his push rod. And he put just an L bend in one end and just stuffed it through the hole and didn't even secure it.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And somehow we made it fly today, and it was pretty fun. He was using a 2206 racing motor on this giant 6.5 foot thing. Now, we did cut it down because it ended up being really tail heavy, so we ended up cutting it down to maybe 5 feet or so. But it flew, and we burned up the motor because he was over-propping the motor on a 4S.
But the best thing was it was so tail heavy that he had to attach a 2-foot rod to the front of the wing with a GoPro on the front, and then a bunch of bolts and stuff to it just to get it enough weight up front for it to fly. It was scary. It was a horror show.
So I'm working on my own design, and it's going to be a freaking rocket. It's going to be really fast. We've got a 2212 950 kV motor that I'm going to use with a 3-blade 5-inch prop and put it on 4S. And I've got some better hardware and stuff. I'm doing more of a legit kind of build. And I think it's going to be pretty good if I can make it fly, get the CG right. So I'll see if I can bring that on next week to show you guys how it turned out.
Awesome, dude.
Speaking of monstrosities, I have one right here. Now, we are talking to Tahoe Ed, and we're really working to get him on. We had him on earlier today to verify the connection worked. I don't know what the problem is, and I hate that we're false, or we have a topic featuring someone who can't break into the show yet, but we're still trying. So
I'm trying to get him right now. That's why I'm typing in the background, so we'll just keep on rocking.
While you do that, Jason, I have a question for you. And this is going on a long road of about a year's worth of thought for me. But first, let's start with the very beginning. This is my Wingo. It's got to be 15 years old.
That's not a Wingo.
I'm sorry. It's an Easy Star. And you know what? I can't find my original Wingo because I want to FPV it. I can't find it, but I can't imagine I would throw away my Wingo, but
not unless it was destroyed. If it's in one piece, it's somewhere in your garage.
Well, there's a lot of old stuff. So anyway, this thing I tried to bring to life last year, and after crunching the Surfer, I thought, man, this might be the thing that I use to go under tents. Oh, we did it!
I got him! I did
Holy smokes!
I did it!
You made it!
Tahoe Ed is here.
I'm 2 for 2, man. I got the stream going today, and I got DJI's Tahoe Head in here.
Woo! You said his name wrong again.
Hey, everyone.
This is Tahoe Ed. If you're on RCGroups, Tahoe is one of the main, not admins, but support guys for DJI. and he answers all the questions, talks about all the new stuff. And Tahoe is the person I have to thank. I didn't really get to talk on this because we were working on getting you on. When the Mavic, we knew it was coming. None of my guys knew it. And what I had in surprise in store was a review of the Mavic Pro from Scott Simi, and Tahoe helped me get that. Am I correct in assuming, Tahoe, you made the magic there?
I made the magic.
Awesome. So the hour before, I was like, hey, look what I've got.
Oh, wait, did he say he made the Mavic or the magic?
The magic of the Mavic. How about that?
So nice airplane. So we got the review up, and it has had Matt might take a look right now, over 50,000 views in one day.
Excellent.
Now, 50,000 views in 48 hours, which is pretty freaking amazing.
There's 2 main Mavic threads, and we're about to break 100,000 hits on combined for both of those threads right now. It's amazing.
This has probably been the most successful launch that DJI has ever had. It's been crazy.
Well, I love it when we can work in conjunction on a launch like this. I've done it once before with 3D Hobby Shop and Extreme Flight. And so one of my favorite things I've learned in the last couple of years is how to take every piece of RCGroups, all the different ways we touch people, and do it all at one time. And that's what we did with you guys. We hit it hard, all in the same 5 minutes, just to see how many people we could hit. I think initially we went out to 140,000 people in those 5 minutes. And since then, it just keeps growing.
That's great. And we really appreciate your support on that. And of course, you know, we continue to support RCGroups, both myself and Blade Strike, which is Ken Booth. We're active in all the DJI threads.
So have you personally had any hands on the Mavic?
Yes, I have.
So tell us your personal thoughts and things.
Well, I mean, it's a very stable craft. I flew it in probably 25-mile-an-hour winds, and while the craft itself might bobble around a little bit, the gimbal is so accurate that the quality of the video coming out is excellent.
Wow.
So tell me something. Would a professional who is used to an Inspire One and Inspire One Pro, would they use this in their fleet for something, or is this more? I mean, I've seen some of the footage. It's awesome. I like some of the stills too. I'm just curious. Does this thing pull double duty in a commercial aspect as well?
I think it could. I think it could as part of the tools that a professional carries. I mean, one of the comments that we've had is the best camera that you have is the one that you have on you at the time you wanted to use it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this is not an X5 camera. We don't have to debate that, but it is a very good camera, and it will do 2x digital zoom, as well as it's not fixed focus. So it'll actually focus, which is one of the problems that we've had, in that if you look at Casey's video, he was too busy wanting to fly rather than focus the camera. And so that's provided us some, it's been a problem.
Ed, there's still time. I'm in Croatia for another 2.5 weeks. So if you ship yours out right now, DHL, it'll get to 3 days. And I know how to use the focus.
I'm sure you do. I won't have mine back until tomorrow. I actually loaned it out to Barry Blanchard, who helps us with the Facebook forums. And so he could get some hands-on. We only got 2 for the support staff. So
I can tell you, we were all watching the live stream in the cast van as we wrapped for our set day, and we're heading back to the apartments. And all of us were just watching this in awe and just couldn't believe what we were seeing and hearing. And I know there's at least 3 of us, if not more, that pre-ordered immediately as soon as it was available. So I cannot wait to get my hands on it.
I'm going to pre-order too.
You guys crashed our server.
I noticed that.
We noticed, yeah.
You know how hard it was for me to try to get some sort of spec info when your DJI.store was down. I was like, oh, Lord. It was down for almost a day. That's a lot of traffic. A lot of traffic.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you one thing that I noticed that I almost never see when somebody releases something new or anything that they release. There's always three guys that are like poo-pooing on something. And I was amazed at the positivity on all the feature sets and everything on the unit through all those pages of posts so far.
There has been a lot of positive comment there. I mean, we're always going to have naysayers, whether it be competitors, whether it be people that just bought a P4 or a P3, go, how come you didn't tell me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
So, you know, it unfortunately it happens, but my guess is even a lot of the guys that have said never DJI are kind of going, well, maybe I'll have to consider this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
One question I had was durability. How robust is that frame? How replaceable are the arms?
That I can't tell you. Don't know. I mean, one, since we have so few,
Right. Yeah.
we don't crash it. I mean, I've had some FPV guys going, hey, let us take it out and put it through its paces. I'm going, no way. Ain't going to happen.
Not with that early unit. No way.
No, it's just not going to happen. So, I mean, as we get, I mean, I took it out and flew it like I stole it because I wanted to see the performance envelope. But, you know, I'm a pretty cautious flyer for the most part, but I know how to put a craft through its test. So, yeah, I mean, it performs really well. I mean, we say that it'll do 40 miles an hour. Actually, in a limited space, I had it up to 45 based on what the screen said.
Yeah. Cool. So it's 45 in sport mode, 2 miles an hour in tripod mode,
right?
And then, or 2.5. And then what's the middle ground?
About 30.
Yeah.
In GPS.
Well, that's what my Inspire. My Inspire tops out at 35. So it's nice to have something that goes a little faster.
Right. And of course, I mean, if you do like I do and travel a lot and get on airplanes, I mean, this is just a perfect craft for that.
Ed, I gotta ask you: have you tested the return to home? How I've heard it's like within centimeter accuracy of landing where it took off. Have you played with that at all yet?
I have not played with that yet, but I will tell you, when you come, I was taking off from underneath a tree, and then flying out and then returning. And when I got back to landing, what happens is if you have precision landing turned on, it actually looks below you and it pauses for about just a few seconds. And if you continue to hold the stick down, then it will land. Or if you wait, a pop-up will actually appear. Do you want to really land? And you have to do a slider.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because it sees the tree?
I don't know if because it sees the tree or just it senses the ground so accurately that it warns you going, do you really want to land or not?
Nice.
Well, the thing that was really impressive to me on the video was how it talks about when it takes off, it takes either a series of images or a little video of the ground that it's leaving. So when return to home is triggered, it will come back and use that image data as well as the GPS data to land within a centimeter of the actual takeoff point. So it's like great if you're taking off on a minor, like a boardwalk or a dock, next to water. You don't have to worry about it being a few feet off and landing in the water. It'll come right back to the dock, which is amazing.
Yeah, it has two video cameras, down-facing video cameras, and of course the ultrasonic sensors below. And so yeah, it forms a very good stereoscopic image of where it's taking off from.
So I'm in Mexico a lot these days, and I talk to a lot of guys who DJI off their boats, which always to me, I know how that works. It will come back where you were, and your boat will never be the same place where you started. So this sounds like a great safety net for those guys.
Dynamic home point, yeah.
Well, it depends upon your device on what you're using as far as dynamic home point. In other words, whether it knows where you are versus where you were.
Right.
And so that's an accuracy issue that I can't comment on because I haven't tried it.
But it sounds like we're headed there. So that's
I'll tell you that the drones are only as smart as the input you give them. But I must say that the processing power that this tiny little Mavic has is blowing my mind. It sounds like it's really got some computing power in it.
Yeah, I believe that once it starts to get out in the wild and guys start tearing them apart, and when we did the Phantom 4, one of the first things that guys did is, okay, let me show you what's inside. And they showed us the magnesium frame, and I'm pretty sure that this has the same magnesium frame that supports all of the electronics, because it's a great heat sink. Plus, it's light.
Well, since you guys don't really rest on your laurels, when can we expect the Mavic 2?
I'm not sure about the Mavic 2, but I think before the end of this year, you guys will have some more things to talk about.
Oh, yeah, number 2 of something. I have a feeling that something coming down the pipe. So can we talk about something else that DJI just launched?
Sure.
The snail propulsion system.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm keenly interested that you guys are taking a front seat in the drone. If it's not, racing, freestyling, just banging the sticks around with a small size, 250 and under frame. I think the price point's really good on the fact that you can do 3D with them, and I'm keen to know where this is going to go.
Not sure. I mean, I sent an email off to Dr. Turbo, which I'm thinking that might have had an influence on the snail naming.
Yeah.
Turbo the racing snail.
Yeah. People were wondering. I thought it was just being clever, but that's pretty
well.
cool.
I think he was being clever. He has quite a sense of humor. But I've asked him to get some samples to be able to test, because I know that a lot of FPV guys would really like to get their hands on it and put it through the test. So I haven't heard back yet. So I have no hands-on experience on that. So we'll see in the coming weeks or months.
How about I'm grilling you here. How about a racing frame? Are we going to see a frame to go with this snail?
Don't know.
Yeah, I know you don't.
They don't. We're kind of like mushrooms.
Well, I'm trying to pull as much info out of you as I can. So.
I know.
I don't know if you can talk about it or not, but have you had your hands on the HD goggles yet?
Yeah, those goggles look awesome.
Oh no, those goggles look really sick. I mean,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, wireless connection.
Yeah, the OcuSync, right?
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There's been no mention of sending those to us to test, and so it's one of those things I'll have to go ahead and ask for.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how we as human beings, when we're doing FPV, we always talk about, oh, it's a dirty RF environment. But we are the RF environment now. You've got wireless goggles, Bluetooth, your cell phone's in your pocket. You got 2.4, 5.8. We're spewing stuff all over us, man.
Well, now, and with guys with Apple Watches, they're doing the same thing.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the reports of guys trying to calibrate their compasses with Apple Watches get compass errors all the time.
Thanks for saying that. Now I know to take my watch off before I do that.
Oh, you got
I
your
would
watch
recommend
on, Jason?
Oh, I have it on right now, yeah. But I've never. I guess I haven't calibrated. Haven't had to calibrate a sensor since I've had the watch. So that's interesting.
Last time you did the old calibration dance? It's been a while.
Yeah.
I took my Phantom 1. I won't sell the Phantom 1. It's just my 4-wheel drive of giant quads,
It is an international scout, isn't it?
It is, man. It's such a sweetheart. I fly it in a wooded backyard. It doesn't care. And I took it out the other day. A friend of mine wanted to drag a cable through a tree for his ham radio antenna. And I hadn't calibrated that thing in 5 years. And I thought, well, let's see what happens. And I
love this story, but it's such a tank.
It was fine. I hauled up some paracord with this thing and went into this hole of a pine tree and came out the other side. And he got his wire up, and it didn't care.
It's like a
Mavic for a second.
What?
I said, hey, can we go back to the Mavic for just a quick second?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So Ed, can you comment about how ergonomic and the joysticks and everything feels on the controller compared to a full RC unit. How's that feel for you?
Well, I mean, in my opinion, the sticks are a little stiff. Okay. However, fully controllable. I'm not a real. I wish I had my iPad Mini 4 on it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that guys will go ahead and have 3D printed mounts at some point in time. But
I'll be down for that.
yeah, I mean, the biggest issue for me is the small screen of the iPhone 6s Plus, which is what I use. It works well. Plus the fact you have the LED screen on the RC unit itself.
Yeah, that's cool.
And, you know, you can connect your iPad via Wi-Fi. Now, you're going to be limited in range. I'm not sure. I haven't done that yet. But basically, we're talking maybe 200 feet or so.
Yeah.
So
you could put your iPad on a stand.
Right.
You could put an iPad on a stand in front of your face and still control.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you could put a longer cable on and put an iPad on a tripod and have no issues at all.
Could you connect through the USB cable to your phone for a pilot controller and then have the iPad set up with Wi-Fi as well at the same time, or does it not work like that?
I don't know. I haven't tried that, so I can't tell you.
You know what else might be awesome? You can HDMI out on my glyphs out of an iPhone or an iPad, so you can HDMI out of that device and then have your goggles rolling too.
Not on this one.
Yeah, I don't think it has HDMI out, does it?
No HDMI out.
And you can't do it out of your phone, Jim, because your phone's connected via cable to the controller.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I know that Epson is working on what's it, Movia goggles, and for that will work with the Mavic.
Cool.
And that's what I'm looking for, because I don't like immersive is one thing, but I kind of like to see my surroundings as well.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Putting on the goggles with the Inspire just kind of scares me, especially if I'm in a commercial environment. Even though I have a spotter there, it's still kind of scary. So.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, I got to try them, a year and a half ago at CES, and I was really impressed that time. I was trying to score a pair and didn't work.
Oh, man. Us peons, right? In the trenches.
Yeah, but according to our marketing guys, they have contacts, so we'll see how they come through.
Cool.
Well, Ed, before we get out of here, is there anything you need to tell us you haven't talked about?
No, I mean, I just really appreciate the partnership between RCGroups and DJI. We certainly have a long history together, and so as a manufacturer, we're proud to wear our sponsor tags on RCGroups, and hopefully, we provide value not only to DJI but also to RCGroups.
Yes. Well, we appreciate it, and we were excited to be a part of this, definitely, and get it out.
Well, we'll continue to have conversations between the two of us.
Great. Awesome. Jason Cole, any last questions?
No, I just cannot wait. I hope that by the time I get home, they'll be ready to ship out, and it will be to me shortly.
Well, if you were in that first wave, that's very possible. If not, it might be a while.
No, with Jason, he was in the very first of the first wave.
Well, I had issues in Croatia where it was pulling up in euros, and I had to get on a VPN network from John to get into a USA kind of site to order it. So I may be back. I don't know. We'll see where I end up.
Jason, you're almost a permanent resident now. You've been there so long. Just go ahead and buy it.
Hey, there's only 2 more podcasts that I'll be on in Croatia. The third one, I'll be back home. So not far away.
I was headed out to the truck unloading some FPV gear, and I thought it'll be weird when you're home.
Yeah. I heard Jim goes to the field and he just stands there and cries. Thinking about the bygone days of Jason and him helping.
I remember when. Matt Gunn, any last questions on that?
Yeah, I'm going to ask one question. I know what the answer is, but I don't know what the answer is. So Are we ever going to see anything fixed wing out of DJI?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I went through the Wukong H and the NASA H for the single rotors, and they work quite well. But I mean, I think that DJI's kind of lost their will to continue to work on that area, and found that multi-rotors is certainly a greater opportunity for the company. I mean, if you look at what we're doing in the ag space, the MG1, our higher end platforms like the M600, I think that's more the way the company is going. I mean, so you got multiple areas of attack. Agriculture certainly is going to be a big one. The M600, especially with the DRTK, where you get 2 centimeter accuracy in terms of your positioning, is huge. I mean, Ken Booth, I sent my M600 to him, and because he had more time than I did, and he got the DRTK set up and did some mapping. And the company that he was using for his mapping program told him that they had never seen accuracy like that from anything.
Nice.
And now you guys rent annually that mapping software, right?
What do you mean annually?
Now I think I saw. I thought I saw on your website on the DJI store that you could get an annual subscription for what is that mapping software? The one that's so expensive that you can trial.
Don't know.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
that's not. I mean, personally, I don't do the mapping, and right now we've been doing it primarily through a third party. But if you're talking about the Pix 4D, yeah, I mean, they do offer a licensing program where you can pay. You can actually pay per map on a lot of these programs.
I think it's like $7,000 for it, or you can rent it annually for $495 or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, if you're using it all the time, and it'll definitely pay for itself in a short period of time.
Market.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, we hit our hour right on the money, didn't we?
Well, actually, we started late, and I still have a topic.
Oh yeah, I got one too.
So Ed, we welcome you to stay on with us. If you need to jump out and do something, feel free to do that.
Well, right now, as you know, the forum is exploding with questions on the Mavic. Oh, I know. I mean, I get up in the morning. I go to sleep. I get up in the morning and I have to read through like 8 or 9 pages.
Brutal.
It's
brutal
just,
world.
It is a brutal world, and then Facebook on top of that. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. If you would like to have me come back anytime, just let me know. I'll be happy to be here.
We'll do it, and thanks for working so hard to figure out how to get on here.
No problem. You take care.
All right.
Thanks, Ed. See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. Here's my theory, and here's my thought, and here's probably a thing I'm going to keep bringing up for the next year. So I was on the phone this morning with Horizon, and I was also on the phone. Check this out. Mike McConville actually answered the phone. Woo. And I said, Mike, I have an idea, and I want to talk to you about it. Really, my initial thing, I'll start at the beginning. Okay, so we were talking about my FPV plane that I was doing loops and inverted and all that stuff, and the wings fell off and I crashed. Well, I'd actually been wanting to do something a little bit different for a while, and this is a great excuse to find the next airplane that I want to fly. So what do I want to do, and what do other pilots possibly want to do they don't even know yet in the coming year? So as an FPV winged pilot, take the quads out of the equation. Flying RC with a wing, but from the cockpit, I want to take off. I want to touch and go. I want to land. I want a knife edge. I want to fly inverted as low as possible over the runway. And I want to be aerobat, right?
You want to do precision FPV 3D.
Well, I'm not the kind of guy who's precise, but there are people FPV out there who they want to be precise. They want to do IMAC maneuvers. They want to pan and tilt to look over the wingtip and look at the horizon to make a perfect loop. It's all going to happen. So I thought, okay, well, let's go out there into the world of the internet and find the next airplane. And I did. I spent a couple of days looking all over for what I thought would be perfect. And awesomely enough, I have found my next airplane. That's why I called Mike McConville. I'm going to share my screen.
All right. Do tell.
Right. And I'm going to share with y'all what I think the future might be of the hobby, you know, from the FPV world. So screen share, getting the right screen and sharing.
All right. The future is.
Okay. I'm going to get this locked up here.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, I have to control it from another window. This is the SU 29mm. So I found the old version, which is, I think is the same price. And I called Mike and I said, look, the thing I want was made in 2014. What do you have that is recent? And he said, oh, you mean the Gen 2 we released a month or so ago?
Bam.
I was like, that's exactly what I wanted you to say to me, man. So it looks like a real airplane. That's a plus for a lot of people. And what I'm going to do is find the right place to mount probably a lightweight pan and tilt from Ready Made RC, which I already have. A 600 milliwatt video transmitter, nothing heavy. And so the question is, Jim, why is this more awesome than other airplanes? And I'm going to tell you, I think the thing about this plane that beats out, for me personally, is the AS3X technology, right?
Yep.
So I'm in the plane and I haven't actually looked at, he said this AS3X is upgraded. So if I want to fly
technology, yeah.
It's got what?
You can panic recovery and some extra stuff. It's pretty cool.
And not only that, but with this bird, I'll be able to go into the 3D mode, and the AS3X gyro, when I go inverted, it's going to help me stay in a perfect inverted flight or in a perfect knife edge. And let's say that I'm moving and rolling and tumbling. I don't know where I'm at now because I'm in the goggles. I can hit the safe switch and automatically it will recover itself into a normal flight position.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's built. It's custom built for FPV aerobatic flight.
So let me give you a good idea, Jim. Go back up to the top where the pictures are. Click on that third picture. So when I did that, when I would do some in the past, what I did was I cut all the glass out of the cockpit and left the two hoops.
Right.
Mounted the camera where the pilot was, so it looks like you're still inside of a glass cockpit with those two hoops there.
I want to make sure that I know that scale pilots have to see a lot of clutter in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm an FPV pilot, so I'm not going to make myself do that. So I might want to get a little higher, maybe in this area right here.
Yeah, I guess if you're going for if you're going for full experience, then mounting it inside the cockpit and pretending you're inside is one way. If you're just after, like what you're saying, a better view and a more precise view of the surroundings, then yeah, mount it on top of the bubble.
Yeah, I'm not going for scale. I'm going for flying. So a couple of things before I jump out of here is.
Oh, my bad.
It's not so big that I have to take it apart. The wings do come off. It'll fit in the car, takeoff and landing. And I was talking to Mike this morning. This one is better than the landing gear is more robust, but you can also adjust the not the PIDs, but on the AS3X, you can adjust
the gain.
Yeah, the gains. And there you go. So on your iPhone, you could go in there and tweak it.
Now, did you say this thing was balsa?
I'm pretty sure that's a Boss plane. It could be foam. If it's foam, that's actually better for me.
I'll roll up to the top just a little bit, get the specs in.
All right, even better than. I had assumed that it was a Balsa plane, so.
It's EPO. It's their Z foam is what they call it, but it's like EPO foam.
So I'm going to jump off of this, but it had. I mean, and I'm going to stop screen sharing here. But I just
think that's cool, man.
Short of having a plane that's pre-built for a camera, video transmitter, and maybe built-in on-screen display, this thing has everything I want, and I already have the on-screen display.
So I just had an idea. When I get the Mavic, you can take off on the runway, and I can tell the Mavic to follow you and we can film it from the air.
I was going to ask about that. Will the Mavic allow us to do better reviews? Can it do things like that?
It'll follow a target. I don't know.
How cool will it be if we're on the runway and I wait till it take off and do an orbit around us as we're taking off, and it sees the airplane and we see us standing there getting ready to take off? It's going to be awesome.
That'll be super cool. What do you have there, Matt Gunn?
Whenever I go to eFest and Horizon Indoor, I bring my West Michigan Park Flyer plane, and I put my 25 milliwatt unit right here on top, facing forward. And this thing, with these huge side force generators, this thing flies knife edge almost as well as it does, upright. So I'll put it in an outside knife edge and fly the entire building inside in an outside loop. And
FPV.
It is FPV. It is so exciting when you're crooked sideways. Usually you don't start leaning much anymore, right? When you first start flying FPV, you start leaning and stuff like that. But when you're flying that FPV, I start turning my head sideways and then just flying the whole inside of the Golf Dome in a knife edge. So yeah, it is a very unique feeling that's different from normal FPV, even from multi-rotor stuff like that. Flying sideways in a knife edge is pretty cool.
Well, I'm super excited to get it going, and I'm going to do probably multiple features on it, and we'll talk about it here as it progresses, and then we'll jump when it's flying. We'll get some video. Before we get out of here, I want to talk about this Dramita from Hobbico.
That's the Sky Cruiser.
The Sky Cruiser 2, and it actually has elevator and rudder, and I was noticing this morning that it appears to want ailerons.
It's got the cutouts. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm probably going to give it to them. Now, I don't have the piece with me, but the canopy pops off, and there's actually a canopy here that makes a room for a camera. Yeah.
Kind of like this guy. Oh, where is it? Kind of like this guy here for the old
it's actually foam. But,
cool.
But I will say, the question is, who is calling me? Oh, it's my wife.
Uh-oh. Take it on live air.
Yeah. The thing about this is it took the wind. So I took it out at Nashbro and flew it in wind. And I was afraid people would make fun of me because everybody out there is in giant scale 3D planes. But it flew great. It took the wind. I flew it everywhere I wanted. It was awesome. So just Sky Cruiser, it is a micro Easy Star type of plane. You possibly could FPV it. I'm going to find out. I don't have a camera unless I'm going to steal the camera off my little Tiny Whoop to do it. Unless
it has a folding prop.
Yeah. If somebody out there has a micro cam FPV or a 5.8 that they want to send me to put on this thing, I'm happy to do it. So,
hey, I got one someone wanted to send me, so I'll put them in contact with you. It's kind of like a Tiny Whoop camera, a separate one.
Right. And well, I will definitely take that. Jason, while I got you, this is an Easy Star. Oh my gosh. My wife. So this is an Easy Star, and I put a PJS 1000 on it.
Ooh, look at that loose motor.
Yeah, the whole thing. I need to work on it. But Jason, instead of changing this out for a motor that's not stupid the way I've gone here, can I just tame down my internal controls on this thing and keep the PJS 1000? Would you prop it down to an 11 or something?
Prop it down, yeah. Yeah, I'd put like maybe a 10-inch prop on there.
Dude, you got a 12-inch prop on that Easy Star.
You just don't have to use full throttle if it's too powerful.
Right. Just go into my DX9 and dial it down to 60%, right?
No, just don't push the stick all the way forward.
Oh, no.
Why do you have that monster prop on that thing? That thing's got to torque over when you launch it.
When you hit the throttle, this thing is unnatural.
I've got an 8-inch on mine. It goes vertical.
The thing that this is greatest at is you put it on the grass and you can drive it around like a boat.
I see that. The front of it looks like a giant shoe.
Well, there's grass up in there from that.
Up in there.
All right. So I am married and I have to be aware of that. Is there anything we need to talk about before we jump out of here?
I got one thing. Got a brand new little toy right here. It's called the RunCam Eagle. And we're going to be doing a review on this little bad boy.
Yeah,
I've been seeing those.
Jason did a news story on it. Look at that lens.
I've yet to have a run cam at all in any form or function.
So I have the Owl 2 that can fly in pitch black darkness. It's a beautiful camera, and it's got a pretty darn good daytime tube. Well, this one's the Eagle, and it's I think it's a 800. Isn't it 800 TVL? I should know this. I'm doing the review on the darn thing. Yeah, I think it's 800. Anyway, we're gonna just substitute it. I'm sticking it right on my my micro Sky Hunter. We're gonna give it a run. See how it does.
Awesome. Well, I have.
Going, by the way.
Say that again, John.
How's your micro Sky Hunter going, by the way? Don't you have some interesting kit in that thing?
Yeah, I do have some interesting kit in it, and the kit is working well. As soon as the kit goes live, we can talk about the kit.
Oh, you're welcome to talk about it. We got some more prototypes coming. We're getting ready to get out some interesting.
Wait. We can talk about this live now?
Sure.
Okay. Let's not do it on this podcast. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow, and we'll do it just on that, and we'll talk about it. Well, you want to do that?
Great idea, actually. You guys.
All right, everybody. If you're live tomorrow, we're gonna jump online at some point and talk about the Vector. What's its Vector Mini?
The Micro Vector.
Micro Vector. You will have heard it here first. In fact, we might actually talk about it today here in a second. I just want a separate video of it.
Okay.
I'm getting in the shower in a minute. And
John,
you can't bail like that.
John, are you going to be around, John?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to jump out of here, and in about 3 minutes, we're going to create another feed, and we're going to talk to you about this thing.
Excellent.
Okay. Matt, you cool with that?
Absolutely.
Hey, a couple of things, everyone out there, live listeners and non-live. Hey, thank you for listening and watching. I was at the show this week, and I can't tell you how many people said, I watch your show. I learned about this. That's why I'm buying this airplane. It's what makes us do this part of our daily routine. And B, if you like it, do me a favor, hit the like button. Now, I know there's a couple of people out there that are probably going to hit that button. If you just never happen to hit it, I want you to hit it. And we appreciate y'all. Jason, Matt, I appreciate you too.
Yes,
and
sir.
DJ and Tahoe Ed for coming on. This has been the RC Groups Live Hangout. Join us every Thursday at 2 Central Standard Time, or maybe a little later if the beta team gives us trouble.
I got us on cruise control now.
Awesome. I'm Jim T. Graham, your host. And this is also going to be a podcast that'll go out probably in the early of next week. So you can listen to this on your way to work. RCGroups.com, the world's largest and most active
RC website.
Hot Trigger.
Who you gonna fly? Hot Trigger.
RC Groups, you work so good.
Trigger partner.
Okay, I'm hitting the button. Bye.
No, you're not.